Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Well, a lot of Browns fans got their wish Friday with the signing of Joe Flacco to be the veteran bridge quarterback. I don't agree with it. I don't think you can replicate what happened in 2023. So many things went the Browns' way, and that'll probably be the last time you hear me say that, because let's face facts, usually things don't, if the things go the Browns' way, it's usually the opposite direction. But that season was a very magical season. There were instances where they could have won a few more games, but still made the playoffs. Flacco threw like crazy, tons of yardage, tons of touchdown, tons of interceptions and pick sixes. But, you know, you could say that before he became a Cleveland Brown, he wasn't that good. Got under Kevin Stefanski's system, was good against not the greatest teams in the world, and then went to Indy and wasn't good again. Now, a lot of you say, well, how do you know that? Well, I live in an AFC South city. So if the Browns weren't on, I could tune in illegally to a network where I could watch games. And I always, if the Colts were available, I watched it just to see how Flacco would do. So I've seen enough of Joe Flacco to know that, and that's it. Last year with the Colts, not very good at all. But if you want to put a positive spin on it, out of the last 3 years, his best year was under Kevin Stefanski. So we'll go with that. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this move, but I'm not going to act like an immature child like most people on social media. And because they did sign him, I'm not going to hold my breath and turn blue or take my ball and go home. I'm going to accept it because I root for the Cleveland Browns. I may not like it, but I'm going to accept it. Let's see how it works out. All right. You know, everybody was talking about Kirk Cousins. And yes, the Browns were interested in Kirk Cousins, only if he was cut by the Falcons. The Falcons, let's just say, when dealing with Kirk Cousins to the Browns, the Falcons did not play well with others over the last month. They wanted a team to not only give them draft capital for Kirk Cousins, but take over part of his salary. And I'm hearing at least half. Browns weren't going to do that. Browns got tired of doing that. Browns got tired of listening. They talked to him and said, look, we can't do that. And, you know, Atlanta, do they want to keep a backup quarterback at $37 million? No, they don't. I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would you want to do that? And Kirk Cousins, he told him a couple weeks ago he does not want to be dangled as trade bait. And if they do, just cut him. So the Falcons would not come off of this, taking part of his salary and asking for draft capital. Browns aren't going to do that. So they have been in touch, I've heard, since after the combine with Flacco, but Flacco was hesitant to sign back with the Browns. He also, you got to remember, he went and talked to the Giants as well. So, and he had another AFC team interested in him. Don't know who that is. Can't find out who that is. It really doesn't matter. Maybe when he talks to the media, he'll shed some light on that. But he was hesitant to come back to Cleveland because of one thing, Deshaun Watson. And do you blame him? So he was kind of standoffish about this. But I have heard a few things that make perfect sense to me and why he changed his mind. So let's take a quick break. Okay, of course, our shows are brought to you by Hemisphere Coffee. Go to, they make great coffee and they shake the hands of the farmer. Believe me, I know good coffee. I used to own a coffee shop. So what happened? What changed his mind? Do you remember when Jimmy Haslam came out and said that it was a swing and a miss and let the whole world know that after everything is said and done, because he's the boss, he's the owner, he took full responsibility, and he even mentioned that they were moving on from Deshaun Watson. Now, that was a message to Deshaun Watson, to the fans, to let them know that Deshaun Watson is not going to play for the Cleveland Browns anymore, even though I've been telling you that since like what, November? Okay. And number 3, to let Joe Flacco know that Deshaun Watson wasn't going to play for the Cleveland Browns. That was the final piece. That told Flacco, oh, thank goodness, no more Deshaun Watson. I can come back where I want to come back. Also, the Browns, so they signed him, and they made it quick. That was a real quick signing. You notice that, boom, and all of a sudden happened. That a reason they announced it so fast was because Deshaun Watson started chirping on Instagram, and they want to cut that, nip it right now. And they did Friday by announcing the signing. It's a fast announcement. You know, boom. Adam Schefter comes out, and before you know it, the Browns are announcing it's official. That rarely happens. Now, we don't know what the contract looks like. Of course, the agent is going to tell you it's $4 million a year with $13 million in incentives. I'm willing to bet that it's really a one-year deal at $1,255,000 for this year, and it's probably got either 1 or 2 void years, so they can spread out any of the bonus that left over from that 1.255 to the 4. And then the incentives, I can't wait to see what the incentives are, but it's going to be playing time, snap counts, probably yardage, all that other stuff, games played, all that other stuff. Now, everybody who's sitting there saying, well, Kenny Pickett said that the Browns told him he'll have an opportunity to start. They did tell him that. They were upfront and honest. They told him, hey, we're going to trade for you and you'll have an opportunity to start, because he will have an opportunity to start. So will Joe Flacco. They will straighten this out. Do we know who the day one starter is? No, we do not. Do we know who the quarterback room is? 2 missing pieces, a camp arm and someone from the draft. So let's talk about that. Now, I put out a mock draft post Joe Flacco, and I had Jackson Dart at 33. Well, this was before Derek Carr got hurt in New Orleans, which will, at number 9, which will probably is where Dart or Sanders, if Sanders takes a dive, if Sanders gets by the Raiders and the Jets, which is possible. It is possible. I got a feeling they're going to take Sanders or Dart, New Orleans. They need some cap help. A rookie contract would do that for them. They're always over the cap. I mean, last 5 years, they struggle to get under the cap by the time the league year starts. They redo things. So I would expect them to take a quarterback, Dart. If Sanders falls down to Pittsburgh, they'll grab him. But, you know, I don't know why Browns fans are worried about that. Name a quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger that the Steelers have drafted that's been a franchise quarterback. I'll hang up and listen. They haven't. And Sanders to Pittsburgh doesn't scare me one bit. Good. Let them overdraft a quarterback. The guy isn't even a first rounder. Fine. They're desperate. Do they have a starting quarterback right now? Oh, that's right. Mason Rudolph. So if I'm the Browns, I had told you earlier, they tried to get, and you saw this on social media, they tried to get Chris Olave from the Saints. And the Saints said no. If I'm the Browns, I circle back on that. I kind of go back and reinvestigate that. hey, because they're going to need draft picks. And why not? Chris Olave would be great. I mean, he'd be perfect with Flacco and Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku. And if they draft Travis Hunter, man, boom, wide receiver room totally fixed. They still need another tight end. They brought in some safeties, which I'm glad to see finally. They've had their 30 visits. They brought in a lot more running backs, which is good. And wide receivers, also good. So also, I have heard that they have recently been in contact with Elijah Moore people. Because have you seen anybody talking about Elijah Moore? Nobody. He'd like to come back to Cleveland. And I have a feeling if Flacco is your starting quarterback, he would love to come back to Cleveland. They connected when they were with the Jets. They connected when they were with the Browns. When Amari Cooper got hurt in that Jets game on Thursday night, Elijah Moore stepped right up. Unfortunately, he got hurt. So investigate Chris Olave or re-sign Elijah Moore. Still, wide receiver room fixed if they draft Travis Hunter. Nick Chubb. They have started subtle. This is what I've been told. Subtle negotiations. I have a feeling that this Flacco thing is going to get the ball rolling on a couple of free agents now. Players look back at 23 and saw what he did, and that kind of puts away the bad memory of 24 for the Cleveland Browns. They can see that Flacco is a serious veteran, a winner, and they want to be on a winning team. So that could change. You might see a few more free agent signings, plus the draft is coming up. No veteran free agent wants to be stuck after the draft looking for a team, because then they've got to wait till training camp and wait till somebody gets hurt. So it makes more sense for free agents to sign before the draft. I expect Nick Chubb to sign before the draft. That's just me personally. And it's not, I haven't heard anything. Now, the draft. Everybody is slotting in Travis Hunter at the 2 pick. I would think the trade down scenario is no longer on the table. Personally, I would rather take Abdul Carter. There's some things about Travis Hunter that bother me. Namely, he's 6 foot, 188 pounds. It's kind of light. I know he's dynamic. And also, he missed 14 games in college. Now, I do admit those were when he was with Jacksonville State, not with Colorado. So that's a good thing for him. He can't really return punts. I don't think he's ever returned punts. So you're not going to get him on special teams. And he's got to give up this notion of playing both ways in the NFL. You know, you need to tell teams, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll play wherever you want me to play. You know, like Josh Cribbs did when he was looking for a team. He told him, I'll do whatever you want. And look how that turned out. That's the kind of attitude Travis Hunter should have. I'll do whatever you want. Now, in the future, will they think about playing them both ways? That's a possibility. You've got both Martin Emerson and Greg Newsome coming up to the end of their contracts. I really can't see him re-signing Greg Newsome. They already have his replacement on the roster, Cameron Mitchell, and he's still on a rookie contract. I would bring Emerson back, but you're going to need another corner. So I could see him not in 2025, but in 2026, possibly if they draft Hunter, putting him in dime situations. Wouldn't hurt. Would not hurt whatsoever. So, covered a lot of ground this morning. It was a busy week. We're about 11 days away from the NFL draft. Can't get here soon enough. So just everybody, enjoy your day. And just remember, if you see it online, question it. Because right now, for the next 11 days, you're going to hear a lot of crap. And hopefully Bruce Drennan has given up on this trade notion of Dak Prescott. Oh, it's not a good look, dude. Don't double down on something that's already proven to be false. Oh, well. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill, and I appreciate you guys subscribing, watching, listening, and following us here at the Fanatical Elves Network. Because after all, we're just Browns fans like you. All right, everybody have a great day and go Browns.